Hey everyone, welcome to Chit Chatting. I'm Dallas, and I have Homer and Ricky with me today. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
How's everybody?
So for this episode of Chit Chatting, we're going to talk about online etiquette. Because more and more with our society, we're more and more online. Our phones are online.
It's a hot
computers
topic.
are online.
It's the way to interact and engage with everybody.
This is actually my first real-world interaction of the day, and I've been awake for about 8 hours now. I've done a lot of communicating throughout the day, but this is my first.
We've actually done a lot of communicating today.
Yeah.
And how much poking did you do online?
Well,
Physical or
that's like
virtual?
Homer Mars poked you.
Hey, now don't
Sorry.
push me there. Okay. Anyway.
It's not always the best etiquette in the world.
No, I feel like everyone knows how to use the technology, but they kind of don't know how to use the technology. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they know how to use it technically, but they don't know how to use it politely.
Yes and no, because I still meet a lot of people that are talking in all caps. I mean, who still talks in all caps?
Yeah, people who scream.
Right. That's totally screaming. Or even on certain profiles that they create, they've used a profile picture that they used 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's okay. On pictures, I have two things to say. One, if you're on like Facebook or a major social friendly network,
Right.
I don't want to see a picture of your kid or your cat as your profile picture. As I've had many friends from that I've in the past who
Seriously?
hit me up for a friendship, and I'm like, I have my picture, like this is what 20 years has done to me. Like I'm willing to show you what Father Time gave me, and you're putting up a little picture of your kid. You know what I mean?
I think on a lot of social media sites, though, that's how they define themselves. They define themselves nowadays by their pets and their kids. So I think that for them is what is most true.
Yeah.
But etiquette, though, for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm getting a friend request from somebody that, God knows who it was, or if I met them 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, or 2 minutes ago, and they've got just a picture of their cat, or their dog, or their child.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to remember
Well,
that?
but you know what? If it's a really, really funny or cute looking kid.
As a profile picture.
It might be really funny and cute.
No.
I'm just saying.
Really? So
Okay,
what's on your profile picture?
Pictures of me.
As it should be.
That's why it's your profile.
The other thing I was going to say is you mentioned being annoyed if someone has a picture that's 20 years old
Right.
on their now. And I think if it's like a dating website, that's when that bothers me big time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can kind of like catch the guys who are trying to get away with it because it's so obvious that their photo has been scanned and it wasn't a digital photo, and you're like, oh, I get it. This photo is from like the late 90s before we had.
Or it's really grainy.
Yeah.
Or it's pixelated, and you're like, oh, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
Come on. This could not have been made a couple days ago.
Right. Well, I think in a lot of ways, what you post on, for example, on a dating site, you kind of get what you give. If you are putting out there a picture that's kind of grainy or not clear, that's the kind of feedback and responses you're going to get. You're going to get someone who doesn't care.
True. I agree.
About,
I wonder, though, how many people do actually use those type of photos, and they actually get what kind of response they get on.
well, you know why? They're using those kinds of pictures because they're hiding something.
Seriously.
They are not.
Yeah.
They're choosing to not represent themselves
they hide?
accurately.
Yeah.
And I think right. You really want to make sure that you are presenting yourself. If you want to abide by etiquette, you want to present yourself accurately and have a nice, clear face picture.
Yes, and I have a personal rule where, because I do use nice websites, like gay dating websites, and I have a personal rule where and this is a tip in case we're friends online, I don't meet anyone who has just one picture.
Right.
Because just one picture can be so misleading. And it's not to say the person is like deliberately misleading you, but like I have pictures of me that don't really look like me, but if I just use that as my one picture, then someone would think like that I was whatever, you know what I mean? And I've seen too many. It's like you can have one picture where the camera really is shaved off 30 pounds. Somehow magically that light just hit you perfectly, and that shade from that tree cut out your third chin.
Well,
or you're wearing a certain outfit that...
I know what's really more attractive to me is if I see a profile and they're very clearly casual, candid pictures, as opposed to those people who like have all these like professional like glamour shots taken.
Yeah.
It's like, who is spending all of this time hiring a friend or someone to go take all of these posed pictures for their profile?
Oh, like those ones from the 90s that you had to do,
with the backlighting so you can't see my blemishes.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to totally make a difference to me. I am much more likely to respond to somebody who has these very nice casual pictures than someone who has got all these. I think it's kind of
so. I'm glad you said respond because this is another part of etiquette that I wanted to get into. Do you ever not reply to somebody if someone when is it in your rule book? When is it okay? When is it okay to ignore someone, and when is it not okay to ignore someone?
Personally, I think it's always okay to ignore someone.
Really?
If you are not interested.
Okay. So if someone sends you a message that says, "Hey man, nice pictures. How are you?"
It's perfectly okay if you have no interest and no desire to lead them on.
Not even just to say,
"Oh,
I'm not
disagree."
interested.
Yeah,
but I don't want to lead. I don't think it's very nice to lead people on. I think that you are going to have it go somewhere when you really have no desire to do that.
I agree with you there. I agree that it's not right to lead people on. But for me to, if someone messages me and says, "Hey man, how are you? Nice pictures," whatever, I think it's rude of me to ignore that. Because I can reply because I feel like I owe him human decency.
Right.
Like he's obviously put himself out there. He's paid me a compliment. He hasn't said anything rude. I think it's okay to ignore if he leads with something like grossly sexual and I'm not in the mood for that,
right.
or you know, whatever. But if someone is polite and says like, "Hey, how are you?" Even if I'm completely not interested, I still think that for human decency, I should say like, "I'm good, thank you."
Right.
Doesn't mean I have to like chit-chat him up, you know what I mean?
But when are you going to stop? How long are you going to take that?
Usually, he will pick up on it because I think people can read.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yes.
and I mean sometimes, but I guess it's like for me, the difference is I think for you're saying like it's okay for you to ignore someone if you get the message and they say, "Hey, what's going on?" and you're just like, "Ew, no, I don't want anything to do with you." Ignore. For me, I'll only start to ignore someone if it's like if we've chatted enough that I feel like I've politely sent the message that I'm not trying to encourage conversation. I'm only being polite.
Right.
And if they still don't get it,
after a couple
then
of
it's okay.
right.
I will tell you, I think it's worse. I'd much rather have someone just completely ignore me than have to have them say, "Thank you, but I'm not interested." I think that is it's more unpleasant and it's harder for both parties.
Well, I think it's different. It's different.
I personally, for me, you know, I want to get it out there, and I want to say, you know, thanks for contacting me, but you know, if you're thinking this is going to go down a romantic way, I'm sorry.
I find few times do I actually have to say I am not interested in you. You know what I mean? Few times do I actually have to draw it out and say anything rude. But people can. In general, I think people try to read between the lines. It's kind of like just etiquette in general. Like if I ask you on a date, you say yes. We go on a date.
Face to face or in
real life? In real life. Tomorrow night.
Have you done that yet?
Have
you done like like an iPhone to iPhone date?
Me and Ricky?
Yeah, no.
Not yet.
No, have you?
Yes, actually.
Homie, I'd love to hear your point.
Yeah.
What I was saying is I think that it's so like say we go on a date.
Okay.
And then there's no second date. That's okay. Neither one of us has to come out and say, "I'm calling you to let you know that I'm not going to go on a second date with you, even though you haven't."
Right.
What's the reading between the lines is that neither one of us initiates. So it's like the same thing with conversation. If someone is messaging me and I'm just replying like "thank you," I don't have to say thank you. I am not interested in your conversation for him to pick up on that. You know what I mean?
And I say nip it in the bud in the first place. Don't even respond.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Okay. So
what do you, our viewers at home, think?
Right? Seriously. That's why you never responded to my Facebook request, I see.
Damn. Well, if I remember correctly, it took him a long time to respond to my friend request. But I'm glad we have moved past
Right, yes.
Yeah. That I gotta say too, like the friend request thing is a weird one because I've had people, like some friends that I have who are like total airheads and yet we're friends and yet it's like I've gone through this thing of like, oh my god, that person doesn't want to be my friend and they've like chosen Facebook to prove to me how much they hate me because they've not responded to my friend request. And then I'll see them out or something and they'll be like, why aren't we friends on Facebook? And it's like, I sent you a request, what? You know what I mean? Like, you never know if it's...
I will say for myself that I have let my friend requests kind of get out of hand. Because, you know, I'll see it pop up on my phone. I'm like, oh, I'll deal with that later. And it'll be, you know, a week before I get actually onto my computer because I've got it on my phone. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've got 250 friend requests. Oops.
Whoa! I'm not that popular.
Someone's bragging a little bit.
I'm not that popular. I totally have 200.
But a lot of them are like, some of the friend requests that I've gotten, they're like people that I don't have anything in common with anymore. Or we went to school in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Am I really going to add you as a friend?
I do. I can see why you wouldn't want to, because some people are like, my life is so different now than it was when I was a child, and, and I'm divorcing myself from my previous life. And I respect that. I accept friend requests from people who I did have an experience with as a kid, as long as it was significant. But I generally don't befriend people that I don't know in real life, and I've told that to people before. Because it happens a lot.
I have to meet them face to face before I will accept their friend request.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, let's let you go today. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
That is good on my
Liking us on Facebook is very
fantastic. I'm Dallas.
I'm Homer.
And I'm Ricky.
Thank you for joining us.